Hello, my name is Penny Meckley Porter, and welcome to today's meditation and mindfulness exercises. Thank you to the Jefferson Educational Society for hosting this every Friday at noon, and hope you're ready to get started. So, if you were with me last week, it's okay if you weren't, but if you were with me last week, that was the 22nd, I believe. Part of what we talked about last time was exploring innovative ways to be mindful during the day, like just finding a moment of mindfulness. And I wanted you to try to surprise yourself and maybe even surprise me, not that I can hear you right now, but surprise me with a moment where you found yourself being mindful, just kind of sinking into the present moment, just noticing the present moment. So hopefully you have some examples. If not, you can go back and listen to 5:15, May 15th. But I did notice a couple of things. One was when I ate something spicy and just noticing, how it is on your tongue or whatever. I only like kind of low to medium spice, but just noticing how that spiciness was in my mouth and eventually on my lips. Just kind of noticing it. And another time I just sat with the mindfulness, noticing it, was when I got into my car and it was very hot. And instead of just kind of rushing and turning the car on and getting going, I got into my car. It was super hot. I felt it on my back. I felt it on, my legs, my thighs. I felt the hot air against my skin. So those were some of my own examples, and I hope that you had some examples of sinking into mindfulness at unexpected times and pausing into it rather than just rushing forward with your life. So today we have mindful stretching and meditating on a word. So let's go ahead and get started with before we get started with the mindful stretching. This is not the really hard kind of stretching where you're really trying to stretch your muscles and like we did in gym class or like you maybe routinely do. Maybe you don't. It's not that kind of stretching where we're really just trying to stretch things out. Instead, it's a gentle kind of stretching where we're just trying to notice our body more and how things feel. So if I do a stretch, maybe for example, I'll do this one, kind of across my body. A really tight stretch is way over here. We're not going to be doing a really tight stretch. The idea is just to be kind of moving ourselves so that we feel a bit of a stretch. And we're just noticing in the various muscles where we can feel that stretch. Okay, so don't hurt yourself. Don't push too hard. We're just inviting you to stretch a bit and sink into your body and notice how it feels in your body. Okay, it's a way to be present in the body. So with that disclaimer said, closing your eyes and coming to your breath. So noticing your inhale, noticing your exhale. Let's do an extra deep inhale. So with your next inhale, inhale twice as deeply as you usually do. Hold it briefly and then exhale when you're ready. And exhale further than you usually do. And then just coming right back to a normal breath. Noticing the movement of your body with the inhale, the movement of your body with the exhale. Now I'd like to do mindful stretching. So I'll suggest a couple of stretches. If there's some different stretch you would like to do, please feel free to do a different stretch. But let's start with hands above the head in a comfortable way. Again, don't hurt yourself. And leaning to the left. And feeling that stretch up and down your side. Maybe even up into your arm. You can't be doing this wrong except to be hurting yourself. Don't hurt yourself. But just noticing that stretch. You don't have to worry if you're doing it right or wrong. Just noticing that stretch in your body. Coming back up to straight up and down. And going the other way. Stretching the other way. Feeling that stretch in your body. Probably up your side, perhaps up in your arm. Feeling that stretch. Back straight up and down. Let's do a neck stretch. So leaning your neck to the left till you feel a stretch. And just feeling that stretch. And breathing into that stretch. What I mean is just envisioning that as you inhale, the breath is going right into that area that you're stretching. So that you're delivering oxygen to those muscles and tendons. And then coming back to straight up and down. Now stretching the other way. Just until you feel the stretch. Doesn't have to be a hard stretch. Noticing the stretch. Feeling it in your neck. Maybe feeling it in your shoulder or in your head, maybe. You're just noticing that stretch. Feeling it. And breathing into that whole area that's being stretched. And then back up. How about we do an across the body arm stretch? So taking one of your arms, let's see, this is my left, but to you it looks like my right. So take your right arm, pull it across your body. Not hard, hard's over here. Just kind of pulling it across your body. And feeling the stretch. Possibly in your arm. Possibly in your shoulder. Possibly in your back. You're just feeling that stretch. And then breathe into all the places that are being stretched. Just breathing right into all those places. Couple of breaths into that stretch. Then releasing the arm. Let's do the other arm. Taking your other arm across your body till you feel a bit of a stretch. Noticing the stretch in your arm, perhaps, shoulder, back. And breathing into that stretch. And then releasing back to your normal position. I'd like to do the shoulder rolls, and I find these difficult and they kind of make me laugh. I have done these in this before. But this is a bit of a stretch because we're going to be rolling our shoulders like this. Okay, maybe I'll sit back so you can see me better, but my shoulders are going forward and up, back, and down. Okay, and I'm going to ask you to do that and coordinate it with your breath. So at your own pace, but I'm going to start with my in-breath and roll my shoulders forward and up, and then back and down with the out-breath. Forward and up, and inhale. Back and down with the exhale. Making a big wide stretch if that's comfortable. Forward and up. Back and down. Again, with your own breath, your own pace. Forward and up. Back and down, and exhale. How about 2 more at your own pace? Okay. And then just pausing. And even noticing your shoulders and how they feel. You might feel more energy. You might feel some discomfort or pain because you might have tuned in. Hopefully it's not making you hurt. You might have tuned into some discomfort that's already there. Then how about one more stretch? I'm going to stretch. Let's see, you guys stretch to your left. Let's say take an in-breath. And then turning your body till you feel a little stretch. Exhaling and inhaling while you're in that position, of the turned position. And feeling that stretch wherever you feel it. I feel it in the side of my body, a little bit in my stomach. Keep breathing. And then returning to the front. Now we're going to turn the other way. So go ahead and turn. Wait, sorry. Inhale. And then turn. Feeling the stretch. Breathing into any muscles you feel that are stretched. And then returning to the front. Okay, opening your eyes in case they've been closed. Maybe they've been opened. So that's just some mindful stretching. Next, I would like to do meditating on a word. So we're going to be practicing meditation where we have a word that we've chosen and we just keep coming back to that word. You might notice that your brain can kind of race off and you get caught up in thoughts. That's perfectly normal. Most of us get caught up in thoughts. But about every minute, I'll remind you to come back to your word. And you may have been staying with your word. Your mind might have been racing off. You might be catching yourself when your mind is racing off. But then about every minute, I'll pull you back to your word. So let's do about an 8-minute meditation. First, I'd like you to choose a word that kind of resonates with you. It's a word that you'd like to come back to. My thoughts for you to contemplate are peace, calm, love, acceptance, flow, breathe. You can find your own word. But again, this is just an introduction, the first time you try it. Pick a word today. You can use a different word next time. I'm choosing peace. So I'd like you to close your eyes. Coming to your breath, noticing your chest area expand and contract, just kind of checking with your body, feeling the inhale, feeling the exhale, and then coming to your word. Anchoring yourself with that word. You may be repeating it to yourself slowly. And keep coming back to your word And I will remind you approximately every minute to come back to your word and repeating your word slowly, quietly, or aloud. Now, coming back to your word, and if you notice tension in your body, just kind of relaxing your body, releasing the tension, and bringing your mind back to your word and repeating your word. Good job. We're going to stick with this. That's been 2 minutes. We're going to do 6 more minutes. So, coming back to your word, releasing tension, relaxing, and then repeating your word in your mind. Good job. Come back to your word, repeating your word in your mind or aloud. If your mind goes off to thoughts, it's okay. Don't shame yourself. Don't be irritated with yourself. As best as you can, just accept how difficult this actually is to stay present. And then come back to your word whenever you notice your mind has floated away with your thoughts. That was another minute. Coming back to your word, repeating your word to yourself. There was another minute. If this feels difficult or it feels so long, I invite you just to keep coming back to your word, releasing the angst, the difficulty, the frustration if you can, releasing a little bit of it or a lot of it, and just coming back to your word every time you notice your mind has gone off. Again, coming back to your word, repeating your word in your mind or aloud. One more minute we have. You're doing a good job. Bringing your mind back again to your word, repeating your word, releasing frustration or tension, and coming back to your word. Okay, there we go. Coming back to your breath. And then whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. So that was 8 minutes that we just did of a meditation where we kept returning to a word that we had chosen. You might feel any kind of way. You might feel more relaxed, more at peace. You might feel kind of frustrated. You feel however you feel. It's okay. The part of this is a practice of coming back to the present moment. This time we were using a word. And also, it's a practice. Mindfulness is a practice of forgiving ourselves. So if you noticed your brain racing off, following thoughts instead of allowing the thoughts just to pass through, then that's what you noticed. Coming back to the present moment as best as you can without shaming yourself. That's a big part of what mindfulness practices are about. Remember, if we go back to the definition, it's about being in the present moment, noticing yourself and how you feel in the present moment, non-judgmentally. That's hard. Thank you for being here today. And you can rewatch this anytime. It's at the Jefferson Educational Society Facebook page. You can find a listing of their videos. It's also on YouTube with the Jefferson Educational Society YouTube posts under videos. You can find it. You can rewatch the other videos, all having to do with mindfulness and meditation. I'll be back next Friday at noon, again, to the Jefferson Educational Society Facebook page for a live feed. And I'm glad you joined me and us. My name is Penny Meckley Porter, living here in Erie, PA, owner of Thrive Therapy Space. Thank you, and hope to see you next week.